Hello! Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday Tea. Just a quick check, as this is our first ever YouTube live stream. Our first ever one. Can you guys hear me alright? Can you hear the music? Does everything sound good? Hello, you guys. Hello, Otis. Hello, Lauren. It's good to see you. Hello, Darren. Oh, that's weird. Hello, Bofi. Hello, Darth. Hello, Super Lufsy. Hello, you guys. Hello. You heard no music though. Alright. Let's see if we can fix that. Can you hear it now? Maybe it was just down too low. You double check here, make sure that's where. Let's see, can we hear music now? Are we good? Still no. Still no. Still nothing. Alright, how about now? Okay, there it is. There we go. Alright. Alright. Settings on YouTube are much different compared to Twitch. But now we know. Now we know. We've done it now. We've done it. It's a learning experience. It's a learning experience. So thank you guys. Thank you so much to all of you that made this jump over here to YouTube. I'm glad that we were able to get it live and get it going. We're obviously going to be hosting Tuesday Tea right here on YouTube every week. So that way the VODs will just automatically become YouTube videos. They'll automatically be there if you have to step away, if you miss something, if you can't make it to the live, it's right there instead of having to wait for it to be edited and uploaded and all of that stuff, and having to wait the required amount of time set by Twitch for their exclusivity clause. So we're going to do Tuesday Tea from over here. So thank you guys for coming in. For anyone that is new, or that happens by, hi, I'm Pagan O'Kelly, sometimes known as Pagan Pixie, and I am your resident Druid streamer. And these Tuesday creator workshops are a place for us to sit down and discuss all of the things that affect us directly as content creators, as well as sharing amongst each other tips and tricks and what works and what doesn't work and that sort of thing. If you're here for the live, you know, this has never been intended for me to just waffle on, stand on a soapbox and tell you how to do things as if my way is the only way. If you have a point that you'd like to make, you can make it right there in the chat, or I invite you to come on to the Discord, hit us up, jump into a waiting room. Moderators are standing by to help you get into the live chat channel, and you'll appear right up here in this little box so everyone knows who is speaking. This applies to if you have a question that you would like to ask, or if you have a bit of advice that you'd like to give, or if you just have a point that differs from what I'm saying. You are more than welcome, and I encourage you to do so. Alright, so let's get into it today. Today we are going to be talking about community moderation. So last week we talked about community cultivation. This week we're going to talk about community moderation. Some moderation musts, because moderating your community is so important. I cannot stress to you how important it is to moderate your community. Moderation is required by TOS. So by your Twitch TOS, by your YouTube live stream TOS. If you're on any other platforms that you're streaming on, first of all, why are you doing that? And second, it's going to be required by their TOS as well. So it's required by TOS, but more than that, your community requires leadership. Your community requires leadership, and that leadership tends to come in the form of moderation for your community. So, you want to have a successful community, you want to grow a community, you want to be successful, you need to moderate your community. And this goes beyond just moderating your chat. This goes beyond just kicking people out of your chat that are saying, unkind things or spamming your chat. It goes so far beyond that. Because we have YouTube communities, we have Twitter communities, we have community on TikTok, we have Discords. Everybody and their brother has a Discord. All of these things require moderation. And your community, when your community goes out into the world, onto these platforms, a lot of the time, people's first interaction with you is not going to be because they found you. It's going to be because they found someone in your community. So you want to make sure that your community is cultivated properly and it's moderated properly to the point where your community is reflecting you and your values and what you do. You don't want, for an example, you don't want a bunch of racist people out there, doing all kinds of crazy things and have people think that this is something you encourage in your community. You don't want a toxic community. So we're going to talk about moderating your community today. For our outline for today's stream, we're going to have 4 points, as usual. We're going to talk about why moderation matters in terms of TOS, why it matters in terms of TOS, terms of service. No matter what platform you're on, we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're also going to talk about why moderation matters for your community. An unmoderated community is going to be bad for your community. So we're going to talk about that in depth a little bit. Then we're going to talk about how to set up moderation for your community. How we're going to set things up, lay the groundwork so that you can turn around and do these things for yourself. And of course, I always like to leave you guys with some best practices that you can put into action, that you can use yourself, that you can think about, so that way when you leave this stream today, when you leave this video, if you're watching the video, you have some things, you have some knowledge, and you can go forth and start implementing these things for yourself. So, let's get right to it. Let's start right with terms of service. Now, moderation is required for your terms of service regardless of what platform you're streaming on. If you're not moderating your chat, you're breaking terms of service. It's absolutely required. They demand it. Each streaming site that you're going to be on is going to have different terms of service in terms of your chat and what you can do and what you can allow and can't allow in your chat. Hello, Tick. No worries, I totally understand. I know it's a big change. It's a big change coming on over here to YouTube, but don't worry about it. I'm glad you made it. So each platform is going to have its own terms of service in terms of what you can and can't allow on the platform and in your chat, right? They have those rules, and yeah, ideally it would be really nice if Twitch or YouTube were to provide you with someone in particular to sit there and make sure that your chat is following terms of service. They do have community moderators that float through, different streams and that sort of deal. But at the end of the day, there's a heck of a lot more streamers and a heck of a lot more viewers than there are going to be people that actually work for the platform to be able to moderate all of that. And therefore, the onus of moderation is on you as the streamer, it's on you as the content creator, it's on you. It's on you to moderate your chat. If you're not moderating your chat, properly, you can get suspended. You can get banned. That's how it works. So everything that you have worked for, gone in an instant. gone in an instant if you're not moderating your chat. Wunderschnell, let's see what you have to say here. I would definitely say stuff regarding the moderation thing. Always choose your modes carefully. You've put them in that position of power and you're responsible for their actions. Yes, absolutely. That is a wonderful, wonderful point to make. I will note today we're not talking about moderators. We're not talking about moderators because that in and of itself is a whole other issue. We'll be talking about moderators next week. Next week we'll be talking about moderators, what to look for in a moderator, how to choose your moderators, how to set things up for your moderators. We'll talk about all of that next week. But this week we're just going to talk about the actual moderation. Because until you know how to actually moderate your chat, you're not going to be able to tell a moderator how you want your chat moderated. So moderators will be next week. This week we're just focused on moderation. Moderating your chat is going to affect you and your goals. If you're not moderating your chat, obviously if you get banned, if you get suspended, it's going to throw a wrench into your content creation plans, right? How are you going to grow if you're suspended? How are you going to grow? How are you going to become a successful content creator if you're banned? If your account is banned? If you lose all of your followers, all of your subscribers, all of that in an instant, how are you going to grow? You're not. That's going to throw a huge monkey wrench into your plans. It's going to make things hard. But not only that, but if you're not moderating your chat, you're going to have a crappy community. And you don't want that. Not moderating your chat doesn't only affect you and your goals and your community, but it affects the platform that you're streaming on, and it affects the industry as a whole. A great example of this is League of Legends. League of Legends, if you hear this name, chances are good that something just popped into your mind. And that is the toxic community that is League of Legends, right? The League of Legends players are known to be highly toxic. Now maybe you're looking for a new game to play, and you're looking through and you're like, what should I play? What sounds fun? And someone suggests, oh, maybe you like League of Legends. And you go, oh, no thank you, it's toxic as shit over there. I'm not interested in that. I don't want that. Well, there you go. That's a whole bunch of people that are not going to even attempt to play the game or see what the game is all about, or if they'd enjoy it, or if they'd like it, because the reputation is to have such a toxic community. Right? So, if it works on a game, it absolutely works on your stream. If you're trying to find new people to come into your stream and everyone knows, oh, if you go into that stream, you're going to have to deal with a toxic community. They're going to be racist, they're going to be mean, they're going to be bullies, they're not going to be accepting of you. It's a bad place, you don't want to go there. Well, that's going to hurt you as you're trying to grow and trying to get viewers, right? But also, it extends all the way out to every creator on the platform. We've all heard it, we've all seen it. You know, we've heard the complaints about the e-curls and the hot tub streams and all of that, right? I can guarantee you that even if you don't realise it, you have been affected by those people. Because there are people out there who think Twitch is only for that. Not all of them, not everyone thinks that, but there is a portion of the population of the planet of Earth that thinks you go to Twitch because you want to see girls half naked in hot tubs. Right? That doesn't help anyone. Those are potential viewers that could have been on the platform, that could have come across you and your content, that are not even going to go to the platform itself. because of those kinds of things. Now, imagine if we all just stopped moderating our chats and we let all of the idiots take over and just be their toxic selves with no moderation. How many people do you think would leave the platform of Twitch? How many people do you think would leave YouTube live streams? How many people do you think you would lose if that happened? All it takes is a couple of bad apples, a couple of people not moderating their chat. And now not only does their chat have this sort of reputation, but everyone else on that platform falls under that same umbrella. Because remember, we're all a community. All of us as content creators, we're a community. Like it or not, whether you like the person that you're sitting next to, whether you know and support and like the person that appears next to you in the recommended tab, or when someone's searching the browse, or when they're just, popping in a search on YouTube, whether or not you like them and support what they do, you're connected to them because you use the same platform. You're a content creator. So what they do affects you, and what you do is going to affect them as well. We're all in this together. We're an entire industry of content creation. An entire industry of content creation. There's still people out there who look at content creators and go, why don't you get a real job? That's never going to pay the bills. It's just a fad. It's just a fad. In 5 years' time, you're going to, go back to a normal 9 to 5 like the rest of us. And together, collectively, all content creators are fighting against that. So you're not just fighting against yourself and learning how to make content and, focus on your craft. You're also fighting that stereotype that being a content creator is not a real job. It doesn't take effort. There's nothing that goes into it. You just switch on your camera and that's the end of it. So you've got all of that. The last thing that anyone needs in order to try to be successful is to also gain this tag that communities are toxic, horrible, terrible places to be. It hurts everyone, not just yourself. So if you need a reason to focus on moderating your chat, if having a good chat and having success for yourself, having growth for yourself is not enough of a reason to do it, if it's not enough of a reason to do it for everyone else. Do it for everyone else. If you can't find within yourself the ability to do it for you and for your goals, do it for other people. Do it for every other content creator out there. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Why don't you get a real job? Yes, that's right. That's right. Darth, that's what my family thinks about content creators in general. Yeah, it's a big problem. It's a big problem. And coming soon here, not this month, because all of this month's streams are planned out for these Tuesdays, but I think we'll probably have an entire tea stream regarding content creation as work, as a viable career, as all of this. We'll definitely have to do one of those, because there's a lot to say in the matter. But we'll get there. We've got to take one step at a time. We've got to learn how to do the basics before we can learn the big picture stuff. Alright, so now we know why content creation matters in terms of TOS. Let's talk about why content creation matters in terms of your community. We talked a bit about the big picture community for every content creator out there, but it matters a lot for your particular community as well, because your community needs leadership. Your community needs leadership. We talked about this during our stream on community cultivation. But when it comes to moderation, your community needs leadership, and leadership comes in the form of moderation. This is how you lead your community. Right, this is how you teach them what we're going to do, how things work here. You're going to give them a framework to operate within. They need leadership. And if you're not moderating, you're not leading. That's how it works. That's how it works. If you're not moderating your community, you're not leading them. You're letting your community do whatever it wants. It's not your community. It's a gaggle of people with no aims, no purpose, no focus, no goals. They need leadership. Your viewers need leadership. If you need a perfect example of that, all of you guys right now, every single person right now in this chat, you've been led here. I led you from Twitch to YouTube. That's leadership. That's leadership. I led you all here. Now, I'm incredibly grateful, of course, that you all followed and you had your own choice to come here. I obviously didn't hold, a weapon to your head and say, we're going to YouTube, be there. No, but I provided the groundwork and the framework, and I said, hey, here's what I provide. I provide to you these workshops on what we're doing. I'm going to be doing them over here. Here's how you come over here. Here's the link. Here's where you find it. Here's the tools to get there. And I have led you here to YouTube. That's community leadership at work right there. That's what it looks like. That's moderating. I moderated where my community was going to be. That's how it works. That's how it works. And it's very, very easy. It's very easy to provide leadership to your community once you have a clear purpose and once you know how to do it. You can do this. Every single one of you can do this. I believe in you. I know you have this in you. Darth, technically I was already on YouTube, but yeah, I was led here via alerts. You were. And that's the thing. Is that about leadership. It's not necessarily, I'm going to lead you people to do something that you wouldn't normally ever do. It's, hey, I'm going to lead you guys to do something that maybe you're already doing, but in a different way. So you were already on YouTube, and I was like, you know what? You're already on YouTube, you already use YouTube, you watch things on YouTube. Guess what? You can watch a live stream on YouTube as well. And now I've pulled you over. Now, there's lots of different variables and that sort of thing. But when it comes to leading your community, a lot of people, right? Let's say you don't want racism in your chats. Of course you don't. Who wants that? Most of the people in your chat are not going to be openly racist. It's something that they're doing anyway. But maybe there's a particular thing that your community doesn't see as racist or potentially problematic or something like that. And they don't know. They don't want to be that way. And they might not even realise what they're doing. And so by providing that leadership, by providing that moderation, you're not changing what they do. You're helping them to do what they're already going to do a little bit better. A little bit better. And that is huge. That's huge. That's massive. Just telling someone, hey, by the way, I know you're super accepting of, LGBTQIA plus communities. Just so you know, my pronouns are they, them. All right, cool. Now I know your pronouns are they, them. And I'm going to tell people when they're referring to you, by the way, this is, Jeff. This is Jeff. And Jeff goes by they, them pronouns. We're going to use they, them pronouns for Jeff. And there you go. You've moderated and you've provided leadership to your community. And it's not sitting there being a dictator. It's just leading them. It's just letting them know. It's giving your community the tools that they need to operate in the way that you would like them to operate. Toxicity. Toxicity stunts growth. It does. Toxicity stunts growth. This is why you need to moderate. You need to know. Toxicity stunts your growth. We talked about it, but we're going to reiterate it again. If you have a toxic community and someone new stumbles by, finds your content, checks out your stream, checks out whatever it is that you're doing, and they find a chat that is full of people who are just insufferable. Insufferable. They're toxic, they're not friendly, they're not accepting, they're just the kinds of people that you don't want to be around. Well, guess what? That viewer doesn't want to be around those people. So that viewer is not going to be around for you. Because even if you're wonderful, if you're accepting, if you're engaging, if you're all of the things that you need to be and that you want to be, you could be a fantastic streamer to that viewer. But watching you means interacting with that gobshite community that you have. And they're not going to want to do that. They're going to leave. They're going to leave, and now that is a viewer that you have lost. That's a viewer that you have lost. That is growth that you did not obtain. And you don't know what could have come from that viewer. Maybe that viewer was going to be your next moderator. Maybe that viewer was going to give you your next big idea. Maybe they're going to give you a suggestion that was going to help you out and make your quality better. Maybe that viewer knows something that you don't know that you can get involved in because you interact with them. Maybe that viewer was going to bring all of their friends into you and to your community because they like what you're doing and they enjoy what's happening. So they want to bring their friends along as well. But because you had a toxic community, that viewer did not stick around. You did not get to know them. They did not integrate to your community. And you never know what that one single viewer could have meant to you. You never know. Having a toxic chat, having a toxic community, because remember, we're not just talking about your live stream chats, we're talking about your Discord, we're talking about your YouTube comment sections, we're talking about your Reddit, your Instagram, your Twitter. Wherever people interact with you, that's where your community is, and you need to moderate that. You need to moderate that. So whether that's deleting comments, whether that's, shouting someone out in chat and going, hey you, right there, we don't do this here. What you're doing, not acceptable. Whatever it is, whatever you have to do, keep an eye on your community. Don't let that toxicity stunt your growth. A, in the chat, a good leadership also increases interactivity. Yes, it does. That's a very good point. It's a very good point. It does indeed. It does indeed. I'm going to take a sip of tea here, don't mind me. It's Tuesday, so what happens on Tuesday? My voice goes out. Thundersnell, that's why I put heavy moderation on discriminatory stuff like racism and homophobia. That sort of stuff has no place in my chat. And spam links like those want to become famous bots. Absolutely. Absolutely, Wunder. Yes. 100%. Yes. We're going to get into some of that stuff a little bit later on here. But yes, beautiful, beautiful points. So, more on the topic of why does your community need moderation? Because it attracts new members. So just like toxicity can push away new members, right? Because nobody wants to be part of a toxic community. Having a good community, having a well-moderated community, having a healthy community can attract new members, right? If you have people in your chat, and I have people in my chat, right here, can I get some ones in the chat from you guys? I want to see ones in the chat. If you came over or you found me because of Wunderschnell. I know quite a few people in this community have come over to me and found me because of Wunderschnell. And look at you guys. You guys right there came over because Wunder found us, liked our community, and came on over. Because Wunder let you know, hey, you should check out this person. And because Wunder did that, Wunder let people know that they liked us, that Wunder liked what I had going on here, Wunder liked the community, and Wunder went to his friends and went, hey, here's a great streamer, I think you'll like them. Wunder went to Inverted Shadow and was like, hey, you should raid on over into here. And because Inverted Shadow has raided over, a bunch of people in his community have come over. It's all a chain reaction. It's all a chain reaction. So if you ended up here because of Inverted Shadow, you ended up here because of Wundersnell. Because Wunder said, hey, this person's pretty cool, come on over. And then Inverted Shadow saw and went, hey, this person's pretty cool. Guess what, people? Come on over. And the same thing happens, Otis, like he said, with Cole. He came here with Cole. Because Cole went, hey, guess what? This person's pretty cool. And Cole told their community. That's how it works. If you have a good community, if you have good people, if you have a nicely moderated community where they're all wholesome and they're all exactly what you would like it to be, you can attract new members. You can attract new members that way. Word of mouth is so powerful when it comes to growing community. Obsidian, you came via poof. Exactly. So you see, it's not always one person. It's multiple people. Word of mouth. Word of mouth is how you grow. You grow with new members because the members that you have enjoy what you're doing. They enjoy what you're doing. They like what you've got going on. And they want not only to be a part of it, but they want their friends to be a part of it. They want to share that. It helps. It helps. And especially if you're a nice, welcoming place and your community has open arms and you've made it easy for people to integrate into your community and you adopt a culture of bringing in new people. You know, when someone new pops into the chat and says, hi, I'm new. If you stop and you welcome them in and your community welcomes them in and you roll out that red carpet and you say, hello, new person, new viewer, welcome in. It's so good to see you. You know, and everyone else is trying to get to know them. They're going to like it there. They're going to want to be there. They're going to go, wow, this is wonderful. I have some friends who would like this place too. I should bring them on over. And now you've grown just by having a well-moderated community. It's beautiful. It's beautiful and it's wonderful and it is so powerful in terms of the growth that you're looking to achieve. Moderate your communities. Create opportunities. Create opportunities. So moderating your chat creates you all kinds of opportunities. We've talked about some of them in brief. You know, attracting new members means attracting new opportunities. Let me catch up with the chat here real quick because you guys have got a lot going on here. We're really active and engaged today. I love it, you guys. I love it. All right. Wunder, and you shared multiple people to our channels too. Oh, you grew massively thanks to you and your raiding parties. Well, of course. Because we don't just take here. We give as well. Nobody gets anywhere alone, and we champion each other. It's not just all of you sitting there in this chat right now, supporting me and championing me, but it's also me sitting here championing you guys, trying to help you guys get better, trying to help you guys promote yourselves, trying to bring my communities over, you know, that kind of thing. And also between each other, all of you in this chat right now, if you're not following each other, why not? It costs $0 to follow each other. It takes 30 seconds of your time to follow each other. And now you have a raid target. Now you have someone you can talk to. Now you have a new friend. Now you have people you can share a community with. You have people that will champion you and that you can champion in return. Follow each other, damn it. Alright, A says, I found you last week on another tea time randomly, and the topics you were talking about were pretty interesting, so I followed and later checked the VODs on YouTube. Great stuff, honestly. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you like the stuff. And I did recommend your vids to someone who is looking for tips to start streaming. Yes! Haha! Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for that. I really and truly appreciate you sharing my content to people. But also, this is a beautiful example. A beautiful example. Word of mouth is so powerful. It's so powerful. And people are more than willing to do it if what you're putting out is good, if what you're putting out is helpful, if your community is welcoming, if your community is well moderated. People are more than willing to tell their friends. And you don't even have to ask them to do it. You know, I have not once sat here and said, hey guys, I've got a new video out on YouTube. Go tell all of your friends about it. I've never once done that. Never once done that. Every time a video has been shared, every time a tweet has been shared, every time someone has decided to tell their friends about my streams and about my content, it's not because I've asked people to. It's not because I've asked people to. It's not because I've asked people to promote me. It's because what I do is something that they support and that they get behind on their own and they promote on their own. And it's so powerful. It really is. Alright, so we're going to take another sip of tea here because Tuesdays and my voice is going as per usual. Today's tea, by the way, if anyone's curious, is green tea and pomegranate on ice. I don't know if you can hear it, but that is right there in my Founding Fae tumbler. Yes, it is. Alright, so having a moderating your community is going to create all kinds of opportunities for you. Not only is it going to help you grow in terms of just viewership and the number of eyeballs that are on your stream or on your videos, or the number of ears that are on your podcast or listening to your music or whatever it is that you do, but it's also going to create more opportunities for you. Because if you have a well-moderated community, then you have a way for people to reach out to you, to share their ideas with you, to give you suggestions for things that they would like to see, that they would like to talk about. It's going to create opportunities for you to create new content, to create better content, to hone your craft. Maybe having a good moderated community is going to bring in new moderators for you. Maybe it's going to bring in new people to collab with. Maybe it's going to bring in someone that you make a friend out of that might have some skills that you don't have. You know, maybe you're not so great at video editing and you don't know how to do it. And someone in your chat comes in, someone as part of your community is like, hey, I edit videos. Well, now you have someone that you can talk to. And maybe they'd be willing to help you out. Never underestimate the power of your community. Your community is made up of all different individuals, and every single person in it has their own skills, their own talents, their own hopes, their own dreams, their own drives. And some of those are going to align with yours. And it will surprise you. It will absolutely surprise you how much your community can benefit you. How much your community can benefit you. How much your community can do for you if you do things for your community, right? It's not just give and take. It's not just take. You have to give too. It's a give and take. So maybe you are willing to sit there and talk to your community when they're having a bad time. Maybe they're going through something, you know, having a bad time, they're in a bad way. And you take the time to sit there and talk them through it, make them feel better, give them a better outlook, right? That's what you've given them. And then maybe in return what they give to you is some promotion. Maybe they promote you. Maybe they sit there and they go, hey, you know what, I've made you this beautiful piece of fan art. Maybe, hey, I made this new overlay that I think you might really like. This is for you if you would like it. You never know what's going to come from people. It could just be an idea. It could be criticism that you need to hear. Maybe you're not doing something so well, and because you have taken the time and you've given your community something, maybe they want to give back to you and let you know, hey, you know what, you kind of do this thing and it's a little off-putting. The feedback is an opportunity. Everything is an opportunity. And if you don't have a well-moderated chat, if you're not moderating, if you're not paying attention to what's going on, you're missing out on opportunities that you don't even know are there. That you don't even know are there. So it's so important. Alright, let's catch up with this chat here. You guys are so chatty today. I love this. I love this. Is this what we needed to do? Is this what we needed to do? I've noticed you guys are much more chatty now that we've moved over to YouTube. On the subject of rating and showing other people, be mindful that not everyone has the same idea. People who rage you might be trolls in their parties, or even be jerks sometimes. Be cautious. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They do. They do. We did an entire one of these on raids. If you've not seen that, there is a video. It's uploaded. It's right there on this channel somewhere. I'm not sure. I'm not so sure about the layout of the live stream. So if you subscribe to the channel, I'm sure you'll be able to find the video on rating. It's there somewhere. Yeah. Alright. So we know... Really, Pay? I thought we were just as chatty here as we are on Twitch. You're not. You're not. You don't notice. But I do. You guys are talking way more here than you ever did on Twitch. I wonder what that's about. I wonder what that's about. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. Not that I'm complaining. So, we have talked about why moderation is important, why it's important to moderate your community. And now, we're going to talk about the big one. Whoops. Ha ha! Looks like the Dark Elves followed us over. The Dark Elves followed us over. Now we're going to talk about how to actually moderate your community. Alright, Pay, I get it. I need to moderate my community. It's important. I don't want to miss out on all of these things. It's super important. So how do we actually do it? How do I actually moderate my community? Well, have a plan. Have a plan. You guys should have known. You should have known this was coming by now. I think we talk about having a plan in every single one of these. But have a plan. Have a plan for your community and for moderation. So have a plan for what you want your community to look like. Now, I don't mean have some nebulous plan in your mind of, I want a supportive community. I want a community that's going to be generous. I want a community that's going to be accepting. Those things are great. Those things are great and they're wonderful ideals. But that's lazy. That's lazy. And you are not lazy. You're not lazy. You're a content creator. You're not lazy. You do lazy things from time to time, but you're not lazy. So don't be lazy. Have a plan. Sit down with a piece of paper, with a word processing program, with your drawing tablet, whatever it is that you want to use. Sit down today and make a plan. Make a plan for your community and be specific. When you make your community plan, you should write things down that say, I don't want racist people. I don't want bigoted people. I don't want people that are homophobic. Write down all of the things that you don't want in your community. It's a good place to start. It's a very good place to start. Then, write down all of the things that you do want in your community. Write down what you do want. I want people who are accepting. I want people who are honest. I want people that are positive. I want people, whatever it is, whatever you want your community to look like. Write those things down. Have a plan. Have focus. Focus on what you want and what you don't want in your community. Once you've written those things down, I want you to rip that page out or swap to a new page or do whatever it is so that you can look at it side by side with the next thing that you're going to do, which is going to have another piece of paper, another document, or a new canvas on your drawing tablet, whatever you're using, and have those side by side. and look at what you don't want and what you do want and determine how are you going to get those things. So if you don't want racists in your chat, how are you going to do that? I'm going to ban people that say racist comments. I do want a community that's, welcoming to everyone. That's on your first list. So on your second list, you're going to put, I'm going to teach my community to welcome new members. And you're going to do this for every single thing that you do and don't want in your community. And now you have a plan. Now you have a plan for how you're going to moderate your community. Looking at that second list, okay, I'm going to ban people that say racist things. I'm going to ban people that are going to spam links in my chat. I'm going to, teach my community that when we have a new person, we're going to stop and we're going to welcome them in. You have a plan, and now all you need to do is follow that plan. Follow that plan. So when you're setting up your chatbots, when you're talking to your communities, when you're streaming, you have this plan. You know what to do. It's not up in the air. It's not some kind of nebulous sort of thing. You don't have to deal with it in the moment because you already know what's going to happen, right? If the first time someone comes into your chat and says a racist thing, you don't have to stop in the middle of what you're doing, in the middle of your conversation with your chat, in the middle of your game, in the middle of whatever you're doing. You don't have to stop and go, oh no, someone's being racist in my chat. I don't like that. How am I going to handle it? Am I going to time them out? Am I going to, say this is not acceptable? How am I going to handle it? Because you already know. You've already decided beforehand how you're going to handle that. That's a ban. So now all you have to do is just ban and move on. Have a plan. Make yourselves a plan. Make it easy on yourself. Make it easy. Make it easy. Make your community easy. Not only is having a plan going to make it easy for you to moderate, having a plan is going to make it easier for you when you do take on moderators, because you have a plan, it's laid out, they already know, here's what I have to do as a moderator, here's how I do it. But at the same time, make it easy for your community as well. Make it easy on your community to follow the rules. And if you do that, if you make it easy for your community to follow the rules, to know what the rules are, to know the boundaries of this community, not only are you going to, have to do less work moderating your community because everybody's in line, right? My community, I don't have racist people. I don't have an issue with racist comments or spamming, the same sort of message over and over again. I don't have spammers. I don't have these issues. And it's not because I got lucky, and it's not because I'm too small for this to be an issue. It's because I have moderated my community. I have taught people when they come into my chats how to act here. This is how we do things here. This is how we act. This is the social situation that you're in. It's easy for you to know what we do and don't accept here. So that means setting expectations with people, having rules listed, having them enforced. I am to the point so beautifully. We had this happen not too long ago, perhaps a month ago, perhaps a little bit longer. But I have moderated my community and made it easy for my community to know how to behave, that my community moderates itself. My community moderates itself to a certain extent, and I will tell you exactly what happened. I was streaming one night on Twitch, and someone popped into the chat, and they said something untoward. Now, I had no way of knowing what they said, because it was in a language that I don't speak. And one of my community members, who's here lurking right now, I did see him pop in. Not a moderator, this person's not a moderator in my chat. Just said, hey, can we get a ban for this person? Can we get a murder shovel for this person? Can we drop the ban hammer for this person? And we all went, what? What happened? What happened? And it's because this person could read the language that it was said in, realised that what they said is not something that we accept in our community, and was able to, on their own, moderate that out of the chat. Because we've made it easy to know what is and isn't acceptable here. The lines are strong. The boundaries are strong. They're not blurred. They're not blurred. They're bold lines that say, if you're outside of this line, you don't belong here. Yes, I remember this. Matteo. It was Matteo. It was, in fact, Matteo. Matteo just called for that shovel. And it was spot on. That is an amazing, amazing moment. Not only for me, as a streamer, but for the community itself. To see fellow members going and enforcing our rules and our values and all of that amongst themselves is an amazing, amazing thing to do. It's absolutely beautiful. And as a streamer, that lets me know I'm doing my job. Now, I don't expect that my community is all of them are going to sit there and moderate the chat instead of just hanging out, and that everyone's always going to be constantly on the lookout for, instances where someone needs to get shoveled. But it's nice to know that people in the chat are able to see those and recognise them. They're able to see those and recognise them and realise, hey, we don't want this here. We don't want this here. And it's absolutely, absolutely beautiful. You want that for your own community. You want that for your own community. Not only does it make it easier on you and your moderators, but it lets people know that your community takes care of itself. They're not reliant on just the moderators being around, because the community itself is not going to allow these things. This is important because you can't be there for every single conversation wherever you are. You cannot be there for every single conversation that ever happens amongst your community members. You cannot be there for every time someone's posting about you on Twitter. You cannot be there for every time someone's talking to their friends about what's happening. You can't do it. You can't. Even if you had 50 moderators, you could not do it. So you need to know that you're not going to have these people that are coming in that are secretly toxic, right? That are secretly being racist, that are secretly, hiding things from the eyes of you as a streamer and from the eyes of the moderators. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It can be done. It can be done. As vigilant as you're going to be, as much as you're going to look for it, it can happen. It can happen. You can have little pockets of your community that pop up that are toxic, and you might never know about it until it's too late. But if your community members know what the boundaries are, know what the lines are, and someone starts trying to cross those with them and you're not around to see it, having a community that will go, hey, we don't do that here. Hey, this is not right. Even if that community member is not going to say it to the person directly, knowing that your community has no problem coming to you or a moderator and saying, hey, I was talking to so-and-so and they were kind of getting a little, pretty uncomfy there. Do you maybe want to look into it? Having something like that, making it easy for people to do that, making it easy for the community to moderate itself and bring things to your attention that you might not see, is super, super important. Make it easy for your community. Obviously, they rely on you to keep things running, but you can rely on them as well. And you have to. You have to. You're going to grow. You're going to grow to the point where your community has no choice but to moderate itself a little bit. Your community is going to have to push out the people that don't fit with them because they don't follow the values. So you want your community to be able to, 1, accept new people, and 2, push out the people that don't belong. And they don't belong by not fitting with the values. And you don't want to just leave that to chance. You don't want to just hope and pray that your community is going to be accepting the people you want them to accept and, pushing out the people you don't want there. Unless you make it easy for them to know what you want and what you don't want. And what they want is going to align with what you want. Otherwise, they wouldn't be part of your community. Make it easy. Make it easy. And I'm going to take a look at the chat before I move on to the next point here. I see lots of hype and love for Matteo. Yes, all the hype, all the love for Matteo. By the way, you guys, if you're not following Matteo, do it. Do it now. Do it now. It takes like 30 seconds. Just go do it. Just go do it. Show Matteo some love. Darth. Yeah, I've been around people who are a bit toxic to others and decided to leave that chat because it wasn't for me. Absolutely. So that's why moderation is so important, because you don't just want to be like, hey, you don't belong, smack, get out of here. Sometimes you do. There's going to be certain instances where obviously there's going to be no toleration whatsoever. But a lot of the time it's going to be, you said something a bit uncomfy there, and now somebody in the community is going to just let you know, like, hey, that was a bit off, a bit extra, Thundersnell. Honestly, I think Matteo could be a murder shovel. Could be shovel wielder material. I do as well. I think Matteo would make a fantastic moderator. But we don't force anyone here. The application for moderator is open to anyone that would like to step up into that position. I think there's a lot of members of the community that would make wonderful murder shovel wielders, and I just leave it to the community. When people want to step up and they think they'd like to moderate, it's right there. It's right there in the applications channel. They're more than welcome to do it, and we'll go over it from there. But everyone is welcome to apply. But at the same time, I'm not going to force anyone. I'm not going to come up and be like, hey, you, right there, you, be a moderator. I'm not going to do that, because moderating is a lot of work. It's a big commitment. It's a time investment and something like that. So although, a lot of people I think would make really good moderators, it's a time investment on their part. And the last thing that I want is someone to feel obligated. If you want to become a moderator, that's your choice. And I'm more than happy to accept you. That's right, Matteo. Welcome back from your lurk. We're just sitting here singing your praises. You're the example of the day. All right. So our last point on how to moderate your community, how to set up moderation for your community. Automate. Everything that you possibly can do, everything that you can automate, do it. Everything that can be done by a chatbot, do it by chatbot. There's no reason for it to be done by hand if you can automate it. Same thing goes with Discord and that kind of thing. Same thing goes with moderating your community and getting the community to moderate itself. If you can automate things, if you can make an automated process where people don't have to think about it, where it doesn't require constant input, do it. Now, this does not mean we're only talking about bots. I want to make that very clear. Bots are super helpful and they're great for automation. But there's also other ways that you can automate things as well. It may not be fully automated It may not be completely automated, but you can automate parts of things. So a good example would be, as we talked about with moderators, with people applying to be moderators. I have a channel on my Discord that just has applications. Here's an application. The application's written out. Here's the information that I'd like to know. Here's what I need to know from you if you'd like to be a moderator. I now don't have to sit down and answer this question to every single person. I don't have to sit down and go, Matteo, here's what I need in a moderator. Here's what I'm looking for. Do you have these things? Lauren, here's what I am looking for in a moderator. Do you have these things? I don't have to do that. It's there, it's automated. Anyone that's interested in becoming a moderator can go to that channel, look at it and go, okay, here's the guidelines, here's what I need to do, here's what we're looking for. Cool, I don't need to ask. It's automated. Now, of course, we still have to go through and read over the applications and talk to the person, and we do a little interview and all of that. But part of that process is now automated. It's automatic. I don't have to sit there and do it all the time. My moderators don't have to sit there and do it all the time. And the same thing is going to go for you. For everything that you do. If you want your Discord to, you have a different channel for different types of topics and you want those topics to occur in there, well, automate that. Do as much automation as possible. You can go into each channel, you can set up a channel topic. So when people click on the channel, they go, okay, I know what we're talking about in this channel. Instead of having to go, Wunder, in this channel, we talk about everything Tea Party related. In this channel, we talk about, this channel is for fan art. This is where we post it. You don't have to do that because it's automated. Someone can click on the channel, they can see what that channel is for and the kinds of conversations that go on in there. It's automated. We don't have to tell every person. Now, sure, you may still have to, do part of it. You may still have to redirect people if they're having a conversation in the wrong channel or something like that. It's not a fully automated process, but a lot of it is automated. And because of that, it's off your plate. It's off your plate. It's one less thing you have to do. It's one less thing your moderators have to do when you get moderators. And it makes life easy. Automate everything that you can. Lay the groundwork, make your foundations, make it so the parts that you do have to go in and do are simple, are quick, and are easy. Absolutely very, very important. And now I'm going to drink some more tea and take a look at what's going on in the chat here. Alright, let's see. Tiny last night was very helpful. Yes! Yes, Tiny is the best. We love our Tiny game mod. We love Tiny game mod. She is chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Head moderator for a reason. We love our other mods as well. Like Mr. Blob Evil here. And Lauren as well. Obsidian Online. I am so sorry that I did not get a chance to add you as a moderator onto Tuesdays. Sorry I wasn't able to do that in time. YouTube is a whole different animal. It's a whole different animal. Setting up moderators on YouTube. A whole different animal. But we'll talk about that next week. I'll have you modded on YouTube for next week. Lauren, thank you. Alright, so we know how to set up our moderation and what we're looking for. Now, as always, we're going to give you some best practices for moderation. Some best moderation practices. So that way, when you're sitting down and you're doing these things, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You've got some tricks of the trade. First one, use filters. Use filters. This is obviously specifically for your chatbots. Use filters. If you don't have moderators yet, and you're moderating your chat on your own, use a chatbot, set up filters. Set up filters to catch spam. So you have links, catch spam links, capital letters, symbols, emotes, whatever someone can spam. Set up filters to catch those things. That will delete them from your chat, time the person out, or ban, depending on how you want it to be set up. Use filters to catch words that you don't like. Sit down, come up with a list of all of the naughty words that you don't like. A lot of bots are going to have a preset list of words that they automatically look for. You know, the big ones, like the ones that start with N or B or the letter F. You know, the one that has 2 G's in it. A lot of bots are going to automatically search for those words and catch those words. But bots are not perfect, and bots don't know you and your community and your plan for your community. So if you need to add in additional words, if there's additional things that you don't want in your chats, add it to your bot. Bots can catch everything. Bots can, if you don't want people to use the word bright in your chat, BRIGHT, you can add that to your bot. You can add that to your bot, and now the bot is going to catch that and it's going to filter it out, and you're not going to have to deal with it. This is super important for you when you're moderating your own chat, when you don't have moderators yet. Not having to deal with that is huge. Huge. It's going to make a massive difference. And moreover, when you do have moderators, your moderators don't have to sit there and check for those words and look for those words and look for the spam symbols and look for the links. They don't have to do that, leaving them free to do other things that you want your moderators to be able to do. Use filters on your chatbots. They're super important. They take some finagling depending on which chatbot you're using, but use them. They're invaluable. They cannot be replaced. Use them. Make life easy on yourself. Especially if you don't have moderators of your own. Because there are going to be some things, of course, that the bot's not going to catch, people using unusual spellings and that sort of thing. But you can sit there and you can take the time and be like, okay, I don't want to use the word bright, BRIGHT, but someone might try to spell it differently in order to get around the filter. So instead of writing BRIGHT, I'm going to have my chatbot check for BRIIGHT, and you're just going to come up with a bunch of different ways that someone might try to write the same word using numbers, using extra letters, using typos, whatever it is, and put those into your chatbot. Think about it. When you're setting up your filters, I want you to try to break your own bot. Break your own bot. When you're setting up a filter, after you've set it up, we'll go with the example of the word bright. You set it up for the word bright. I want you to go into your own chat, and try writing that word every single way that you can think of, where the bot does not delete it. And if you find a way that you've written it that the bot deletes it, add it to your bot. Add it to your bot. Because there are going to be people, it happens, there's going to be people who are going to try to get around your filters. They're going to try to get around the boundary. Don't make it easy for them. Don't make it easy for them. Don't let them try. Let them realise very early on that you're prepared. You're prepared. That shit's not going to fly here. We're too good. We're too good. We're too smart. We're too prepared. Ha ha! You think you can break our bot? I know. Darth, I still need to know how to set up a filter before using it. Well, setting up filters is going to depend on which chatbot you're using. We did do, the VOD should still be up on Twitch. We did do one about different chatbots that might show you a little bit how to do it. And also, feel free to jump into the Tea Party chat. Jump into the Tea Party chat on Discord. Someone will help you out. Someone will help you out. Either I'll help you out, or another member of the community will jump in if they get there before I do. We'll get you help. We'll get you set up with your filters. No worries. No worries whatsoever. Alright, so we're going to use filters. The next best practice for your moderation, set expectations. Set expectations with your community and with your moderators. So once you have written down your list of all of the things that you want and you don't want in your community, when you've made your list of how you're going to moderate, what you're going to ban, what you're not going to ban, that sort of thing, you have essentially a list of rules. Take that list, turn it into a list of rules for your community. Put that list of rules everywhere that you can. Put that list of rules everywhere that you can. Put it in your About Me panel. Put it in your description box. Put it at the start of your chat. Twitch has, when someone joins your chat room, it'll show them a list of rules. Put it on your Discord. Put it every single place that you can. So that there is no way people don't know what the rules are. On my own Discord, for example, when you first join my Discord, you're met with a blank Discord and a channel full of rules. You need to click a button that says, yes, I read the rules, I agree to abide by them, before you actually have access to the Discord. I set something like that up. A lot of people have set something like that up. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. If you don't know how to set that up, there is a YouTube video that I can link you to. I'll throw it in the resources channel on the Discord that will walk you through how to set up something like that for your own Discords. Set your expectations with people. Let them know what the rules are. A lot of the time, simply having those rules there is going to curb a lot of bad behaviour. It's going to make it easier for people to follow your rules and to integrate into your community. You know, if someone comes into your chat, they don't know what's allowed there and what's not. They can learn over time through moderation, through your community helping them, through you integrating them and getting them comfy and all of that. But the first time they join your chat, you know, maybe they're super edgy. Maybe they're super edgy, and in their communities and their friends, you know, being edgy is fine. Maybe being edgy is fine, but then they come into your chat and being edgy is definitely not fine, right? Maybe it's not okay. So having the rules out there, having it clear, lets them know, hey, we don't say these things here. We don't do this here. We don't do that here. Right? It's just like if you're going into work, if you're going into your job, there's a certain set of expectations of what you can and can't do there and how you're going to behave and how you're going to act. And it's going to be a heck of a lot different than how you can talk and act and speak when you're just hanging out in your bedroom with your friends. It's going to be two different things. And when you start a job, chances are good you've received a list of rules in the form of an employee handbook, right? So have a list of rules for your community. Set those expectations with your community. It'll make things a lot easier, and things go a lot smoother if you just set those expectations. It's easy enough. Be vigilant. Be vigilant. I wish copyright wasn't such an issue, because right here is where I would, play a clip from Harry Potter where Mad Eye Moody's just going, constant vigilance. It's all I hear in my mind all the time. Be vigilant about moderating your community. Be vigilant about your rules. Be vigilant about it. If a rule needs to be enforced, if it's not being enforced, you have to step in and do it. If you don't have moderators, it's on you. It is 100% on you to make sure that rules are being followed, bans are being handed out, timeouts are going out when they need to, conversations with your community are happening. If you've decided that certain behaviours we're not going to ban right away, we're going to have a conversation, we're going to tell people, what they're doing wrong, give them the opportunity to change it. It's on you to be vigilant and make sure that those things are happening. If you have moderators, it's their job to be vigilant about those things. It's their job to make sure that that's happening. It's their job to make sure that chats are happening in the right channels on the Discord, that people are not being racist in the chat, that, whatever it is, it's their job. And it's your job as the streamer to be vigilant and make sure that they are doing that job. Having moderators does not mean that you get to just take your hands off and you don't have to worry about it anymore. It means you have to make sure that they're doing their jobs. Be vigilant. Make sure that nothing that you don't want spreading in your community is not spreading. Be vigilant for those bad actors. Be vigilant for those behaviours that you don't want and don't accept. Be vigilant about it. Don't ease up. Don't let it go, especially at the start. Especially when you're first starting streaming, when you're first starting building your community. You have to be vigilant about it all the time. It should always be on your mind. Always be looking for it. Always be paying attention for it. Because it's on you. It falls to you. Even if you have moderators, at the end of the day, your community moderation falls to you. Don't disappoint yourself. Don't disappoint your community. Don't disappoint content creators as a whole. Be vigilant. Put in the work, put in the time, put in the effort. I know that you can do that. I know you can. And it comes with being a content creator. Moderating your community is part of it. Listen to your community. Listen to your community. When it comes to moderating your community, listen to them. Listen to their feedback. But not just words. Not just words. Don't just always expect that people are going to come up to you and tell you, hey, I don't like this, or hey, this is not working out, or hey, this person's being a bit weird. Don't expect that that's always going to happen. Obviously, you want to encourage that to happen. You want to make it easy for that to happen. You want to give your community times where you specifically ask them, hey, how are we doing? Stuff like that. But you also want to listen to them by watching them. Watch for when engagement starts going down. Watch for when people stop showing up. Watch for when people start avoiding certain areas of your Discord. Watch for these things, because that is your community telling you. That is your community talking to you, telling you that something is wrong. That something is wrong. They're uncomfortable with something. They don't like something. Listen to that. Listen to them. And if you're being vigilant and you're watching what's happening, you should be able to very quickly discover what is causing that problem. Listen to your community as you're moderating them. Feedback is not always going to come in the form of, hey, Pay, can we sit down and have a conversation? And I'm going to tell you some things that are really uncomfortable for me to tell you. You're very rarely ever going to get that. You're very rarely ever going to get that. So you have to learn to listen and watch your community for that feedback. You have to find it for yourself. And if you're unable to figure out what's causing the problem, if you notice that, hey, a lot of people used to chat in my Discord a lot, and now they're not, people are not as engaged with the Discord anymore, and I don't know why. If you're unable to figure out the reason, ask someone. Ask someone. There's no shame in asking your community. Ask someone, whether you ask them on a live stream, whether you take a moment to do just chatting and go, hey guys, can I get some feedback from you? I've noticed this is a thing that's happening. Is there any particular reason for this? What can I do to improve it? If you don't get answers that way, because sometimes people don't like to say uncomfortable things in a group, go to people individually. Take a moment. Shoot out a DM. Shoot out a DM and just be like, hey, I've got a question for you, Lauren. I noticed that you were really active in the Discord for a while, and now all of a sudden you're really not so active anymore. What's going on? Is there something that I can improve? Do you just maybe have something going on in your life? Do you not have the time? Whatever it is, and you can get that feedback for how to improve or how to identify a problem. And at the same time, you've taken a moment to connect with a member of your community on a personal one-to-one level. And I cannot stress to you how important that is for community members. People like that. People like that. People like to know that they're not just a viewer to you. They're not just a faceless viewer whose opinions and thoughts don't matter, but that you see them as an individual person. They like that. Now, maybe you don't have the time to sit and have a full-on chat with every single person in your community every single day, because of course you don't. Of course you don't. If you do now, do it. But as you start to grow, you're not going to have that anymore. But you can still sometimes pick one person, talk to them, be like, hey, what's going on? What's going on here? Delegate it to your moderators. Have your moderators reach out to people. Collect some information. But listen to your community. Listen to your community. I don't think she's seen it yet. Seen what yet? Oh, Funder, I did not realise that you're trying to get live on the air here. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Alright, let's get you pulled in here. Let's get you pulled in here. Hello, Funder, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright, so you had either a question or a comment?
It was mainly on the subject of your automating and filtering. For anyone who's new to Twitch in the chat, if there's a place in your creator dashboard that you can use to, if you're by yourself and you don't have any moderators yet, there's something called auto mod where we can set customized levels of your moderation settings, so you can detect potentially inappropriate or harmful messages based on the level that you've selected. For example, for mine, I've put something for race, ethnicity, or religion as maximum filtering, because discrimination against racism has no place in there. And if anyone here uses a cloud bot, uses Streamlabs, you can use the cloud bot to also to head. You can also use a cloud bot, which helps you out because you have caps protection, which stops people from spamming caps lock messages in your chat, spamming too many symbols like the $, pound sign, etc. There's also something called link protection. There's also blacklists and whitelists. I've personally whitelisted a few things, like my own personal Discord link, some Streamlabs places I can go, and the clips.twitch.tv, which allows my viewers to send me clips, but outside of my Twitch and outside of the Twitch and my Streamlabs and my Discord, anything else will not be permitted, because I don't want people just spamming me with random videos. That's one of the things, keeping it nice and moderated, because you've got stuff that you want then in there, like you want people to send you clips, but you don't want people to send you random videos of stuff like I don't know what really, but
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Funder. Thank you so much. You do bring up some amazing points. With that is that there's lots of moderation tools out there that you can use for automating your moderation. We did a whole episode on bots and what your bots can do. So some of the things that you touched on, caps and links and that sort of thing. We did touch on that with the bots and how to do that. But there are some pre-built-in moderation tools as well, like the auto mod on Twitch, on YouTube. You do have a couple of options for that as well that you can set up when you get in there and you get dialed in. I think perhaps we'll probably do an episode on the ins and outs of actually, the mechanics of setting these things up. Between now and then, if you do need help, figuring out how exactly do I add filters to this bot, before we get a chance to do a workshop on it, feel free to pop into the the tea party. Feel free to pop into the tea party and ask. You'll get help. We're there to help you. But those are some wonderful points. Thank you, Funder. Thank you so much for reminding us that those things exist. I appreciate it. All right. So, best practices for moderating your community. We've gone over being vigilant, listening to your community, and the very last thing that is perhaps more important than all of the others. Be prepared for disaster. Be prepared for disaster. Be prepared for a crisis at all times. Part of your plan, making sure that you know what you're going to do if something goes wrong. If something goes wrong. So part of having our plan, which we talked about, having our plan, is knowing what we're going to do in case a racist pops into our chat. What we're going to do if someone's posting links in the chat. What are we going to do? How are we going to deal with it? I want you to sit down and honestly think about this, whether it's for your YouTube, whether it's for your Twitter, whether it's for your Discord, whether it's for your Twitch live stream, whatever it is, I want you to take a moment and sit down and think about what is the worst thing that could possibly happen. What is the worst thing that could possibly happen? And come up with a plan for what you're going to do if that happens. Now, for an example, if the worst thing that could possibly happen that you're thinking of is you get raided by trolls who just all come in, they all start spamming terrible things, it overwhelms your chatbot, it overwhelms your mods, they can't keep up with it, it's going absolutely mental, it's a doomsday scenario. What are you going to do? What's your plan? How are you going to moderate that? What are you going to do? Are you going to cut the stream off right there? Are you going to stop streaming? Are you going to chuck on slow mode? Are you going to chuck on followers only mode? Is that going to stop people? Are you going to switch over to sub only chat? What are you going to do? Are you going to switch to emote only chat? How are you going to respond to the worst case scenario that happens? Make a plan. Have a plan. I'm not saying that this is absolutely going to happen to you. Your doomsday scenario, your doomsday event of what's going to happen, the worst thing that could possibly happen to your Discord, the worst thing that could possibly happen to your Twitter. I'm not saying these things are going to necessarily happen. But you should be prepared in case that they do. So that way, if they do happen, instead of being a doomsday scenario, everything is crazy, you know, this was a complete and utter disaster, it was such a failure, you know, these trolls got exactly what they wanted. Instead of it being that, it's, we clicked one button, life moved on, we were fine, this didn't affect us in the least, and now you have become unflappable. Your community has become unflappable, you have become unflappable. And because you are prepared for these scenarios, and because people that are going to do something like this, people that are going to come in and try to raid you with spam and try to flood your Discord and all of this, they're doing it for the reaction. They're doing it for the reaction because they want to see it be a big deal. They want to see the meltdown. They want to see you go absolutely crazy and be uncertain what to do. They like that. They thrive on that chaos. And that's what they want to happen. Don't give it to them. If you're prepared already and you already know what you're going to do in these situations, and they come in and they raid you and they think they're being clever and they don't get that reaction, well, guess what? Not only have you minimised the damage, but it's going to be much more unlikely, rather, that they're going to try again in the future. You're not going to be a good target. You're not going to be a good target for their chaos because they know you can deal with it. It's not a problem for you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're wasting their time because they're not going to accomplish what they're going to accomplish. It's a waste of time. Be prepared for disaster. And I don't just want you to be prepared for a massive disaster. That's a good place to start. Being prepared for the big disaster is a good place to start. Once you're prepared for that, think of the next disaster. And the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Get down as small as you can so that you're prepared from everything from I stubbed my toe to it's the apocalypse and doomsday is upon us. The more things that you can be prepared for, the smoother and easier your community moderation is going to go. Just be prepared. It's all you need to do. Hopefully, you guys, this has helped you be a little bit more prepared. Hopefully this has helped you and given you some good information, some good insights, and that sort of thing. I hope that you have some plans formulating in your mind, some things that you can set up or start doing that you maybe weren't doing, or things that you were doing that you can do a little bit better now. Next week, because I know everyone has a lot of questions regarding moderators, and the big one being, how do I find a moderator? We're going to talk all about moderators next week. Next week we're going to talk about moderators, where to find them, how to get them, what to look for in a moderator, how to train them up. But all of that builds off of what we talked about today. So, my recommendation for you, if you plan on coming to tea next week, or if you're going to watch the next video when it comes out, come to the stream with a plan. Have a basic outline, have a basic plan of what you want to do with your moderating. Have your plan, bring your plan to tea, or bring your plan to the next tea stream, so that way when we're talking about it, you can follow along and you can look at specific questions that relate to you that maybe we're not covering, that I haven't answered. You know, how to do XYZ thing that you want to do. If I haven't touched on it in a broad sense, you can get those questions, you can dial them in, we can talk about those things. Bring your plan to tea, you guys. Bring your plan to tea. Thank you all. Thank you so much for being here. I really and truly appreciate it. And of course, for those of you content creators out here, I'd like to just remind you, Grove Grooves exists. It's a thing that exists. It's copyright-free music, royalty-free music for you guys to use on your own streams, in your own videos, in your podcasts, whatever you'd like to use. It's available right here on YouTube. You've been listening to it this whole time here in the background. Use it for yourselves. Do whatever you'd like with it. Help yourselves, guys. This is for you. And of course, we do have more music coming up. We have more albums on their way, more tunes. And to all of you that have been using this yourselves already, a huge thank you. A huge thank you to you. Thank you for using it. Feel free to let me know what you think, what you like about it, what you don't like about it, any issues that you're having. And if you have any suggestions for maybe some different types of music that you'd like to see added to our library, let me know. Let me know, you guys. So, we can't raid on YouTube. So this is it for us. We are done for the day, you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much to everyone. Thank you. And until next time, when the Grove door opens, I am Pagan O'Kelly. May harmony find you.